Hello, my name is Rachel, and I am the Thrifty Crocheter. And today I got this one. What? Granny Square Stitches card deck. And I was looking at, I got this from Barnes & Noble. I had already bought these previously. This was the first one that came out. And then when this came out, I went and got this one. This one actually did come out in about the spring or so, like in March sometime. It wasn't this year, last year. Then this one came out in Barnes & Noble today. Now, I will say, now they all are the same size boxes, same size specs of how big your squares should be if you already have the other two. However, and they all have a nice little booklet, very nice booklet, and they all have an introduction and it shows like US and UK terms. They all three have a stitch chart symbols. And they each have stitches, definitions of stitches. This one and the flower deck, the Granny does a little bit, but this one and the flower deck go into great detail on how to read a chart. This one especially goes into great detail on how to read a chart. I think they should have, as much as I love the previous boxes, I really think they should have made this one first, because once you understand how to make all the different stitches, then that makes making the other boxes a lot easier. Because with those boxes, you have to already know what a single crochet is, what a double crochet is, what is a half double, what is a triple, what is a V. You have to already know those going in when you go to make those other two boxes. This one actually starts you out with single crochet, then goes to a half double. I mean, it still has the same little specs, but it does go into more detailed instructions and not just give you a graph and have small amount of instruction. I will give an example. I should have already been prepared. I'm sorry. Okay. Here is the single crochet. Yep, that is a little close. As you can see, it gives the graph, gives a little more, gives detailed instructions here, and some more notes over here. Here's the Flower Granny. In the Flower Granny box, the very first one is called a calendula, and it just shows a graph with minimal instructions and basically refers you to the booklet for this. Same thing with the Granny, with the very first one. With the basic, there's just a graph, limited instructions, and some references to the book on how to read this. But personally, I do like the one. Cut two cards in one here. I like this better, a little bit better, because it gives you more instruction and has the limited part over here. I think on the other two cards they could have made the picture maybe a little smaller so to have room for the instructions, because not all of us understand how to do this. I mean, yes, it gives instructions there, but when you have some written instructions up here, this helps for those who don't fully understand this, like me. I gotta sit there and really think when I'm doing those cards, how they're doing it, so I can make sure to get everything right. I mean, not only do they tell you, with the chains that they're starting with, but on the side here, it'll say a starting chain number of stitches plus whatever number. And the plus whatever number is usually your turning chain. And they do tell you how many rows to make for each color, or for your color change, which is nice. Because those don't tell you how many, when to make. They don't tell you specifically when. They're just like, here's the picture, have fun. Some of us need that kind of instruction. There are some wonderful. I'm going to do these backwards. The Antarja Rattenberg. Tapestry Plaid. Tapestry Zigzag. The Alpine Stitch. I know a lot of people like to use that one, the Alpine Stitch. Oop. Dropped it. Yep. Sorry, I moved my camera. The Waffle Stitch. A lot of people like to use these waffles. These are actually really good pattern for things. A Spiked Wave. I like the look of this one. A Brick Stitch. I know I've done this one on my channel before. The Brick Stitch. Petals. I like that one. That looks really pretty. And the thing that they say about these different types of stitches is that stitch work is that you can use them for anything. And of course you can always put the squares together or use that pattern to make something else. Now this one is interesting. These are about picots, all about the picots. Window pane. They do look like windows. Ridged ripple. I like that. You kind of see the ridges on that one. Long wave. I like that. Overlay steps. Now I'm not sure. I don't know if it's because I use too many colors, but this one just looks messy to me. It says to work this square shown on a card, make 16 chains, follow the chart for edge See pages, give me the pages. Work each row with one color at a time. The first stitch of the row indicates the color to be worked. Each new color is joined at the beginning of the row and every worked from right to left. Do not turn the work. Refer to the chart key. Okay, here's that. Isn't that messy? And then here's the chart they're referring to in this. I mean, that one just kind of throws me out. Throws me. And there's a couple other ones that throw me a little bit too. Vertical stripes. See, instead of horizontal, they're vertical. Now this is another one that looks kind of messy to me. These mini check. This one also kind of looks messy. This one I think is really pretty. And it's called Blooms. And you can kind of see that. See, like these are the leaves, and then those are the these are the petals of the flowers. It's called Blooms. I really liked it. I think that would look pretty on a sweater. That would make a gorgeous sweater, I believe. Now this one, this is the third time I've come across this one because I came across this in another book, actually 2 other books. Hearts. I've seen some other people do this one, and everybody has their own, like their own stitch work for that. But I like that. But there's a little bit differently as far as the hearts. Triangles. At first I thought they were sailboats because they kind of look like sailboats to me, but it's called triangles. Cards are sticking together, I apologize. Now this one is called Baubles. But if you ask me, the way they made this one, this particular square, they almost look like little fishies. Don't they look like little fishies? Because of this part right here next to the bauble, they almost look more like little fishies. But they're baubles. And this one is called Mountains. I almost think parts of them kind of look like teeth to me. The mountains. Puff stitches. This is puffs. Kind of zigzagged almost in this picture, but these are puffs. For those who love to do all them puff stitches. I know, because I did one. did a square with a lot of puff stitches. Spring Garden. I also like this one. This one has puff stitches in it right before you learn how to do puffs. I think that's interesting. But I think that's another one that would make a really nice sweater or blanket or something. Cartwheels. And no, not the type that kids learn in gymnastics. Cartwheels. I like that name. And this one's called Wiggle. 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 Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Scallops. That's an interesting way to make a scallop, I think. Those are called scallops. Lark's foot. I think I've done this one on my channel before. Of course, everybody has their own way of doing it, and I will show how to do them. A granny spike. Now that one's interesting. Yep. I have to flip that back. Here's a corner to corner. I thought that was neat that they put that in there. A corner to corner. Crosshatch. That's interesting. Cluster V stitch. Now that's interesting. Cluster V stitch. We're getting there, folks. A mermaid. You can kind of see that. Kind of see it. Pip stitch. This one's interesting. I like how the colors peek through the purple there. It's like the color is peeking through netting. I like that. Meadow. Cluster blocks. Anyway, we're going from bottom to tops, just so you know. Crowns. I like this one. Crowns. Now, I like this name. Lozenges. I'd much rather have this lozenges than having to take lozenges. Lozenges. Block checks. Granny Diamond. Now that one's interesting. It's true. I'm sitting here looking at the chart and trying to figure that one out a little bit. Granny Diamond. Blocks and V's. I think those work pretty well together. Blocks and V's. Baby blocks stitch. The V stitch. Block stitch. Granny stripe. I know I have one on this one. So I talked about the difference between a granny square and a granny stripe. I do have a pattern on it. I do have a one on that one. Houndstooth stitch. Houndstooth, yep, I know I have one on that one as well. The rest of these I didn't. A paired single crochet. Linen stitch. I know I have one on this one as well. Half double in between. Double crochet. I know I have one on this one. And a half double crochet. I know I have one on this one as well. And then the very first one is the single crochet. I know I have ones on those as well. And I'm dropping things. And I do like that they have put in here, that is the 2025 gift of the year. And then they have the previous boxes that they have put out also. Now, I'm not affiliated with them or anything, but personally, I think they should have done, if they could do it again, they would do this first. I think they should do, personally, I think they should have done this one first so people understand how to do like the single crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, you know, how to do things like that before going into doing these. That's just my opinion. But I find all of these to be wonderful, great for any beginner, great for any beginner whatsoever, and something that you can have fun with. It shows you how to make various different patterns to make for any project. If you want to, you can put them all together to make one gigantic blanket, because there's 50 in each. So that's 50, 100, 150. I think 50 squares just alone would make it nice, would make a decent blanket. But I really, you know, you could use these flowers in any type of blanket. You can use any of these patterns in here or any of these patterns to make any kind of anything for any kind of project. But these are wonderful. These are very, very wonderful. Got them from Barnes & Noble. Just saying. But this one is definitely my newest favorite. I hope you enjoyed, and this was a little bit longer video, but I just wanted to compare and contrast the 3 boxes and give you a fair overview of it. Just so you know. Y'all have a great day now. Bye.